What's up, guys? It's Mike for Sim Racing 604, and today I'm going to be doing a rant, quite frankly. I've had some time in a hotel room over the last week, and I've been doing some thinking about sim racing, and specifically Assetto Corsa Competizione and how it relates to Assetto Corsa, and whether or not I think Assetto Corsa will somewhat stand the test of time as much as a video game really can. And I believe the answer is yes. I believe that in 1 year, 2 years, maybe even 5 years, we will still be driving Assetto Corsa. And the why is somewhat philosophical. It relates back to my favorite author, which is Nassim Taleb. So for those not interested in the sort of half-baked philosophical arguments of a sim racer, feel free to skip ahead 5 minutes. But for those who are here for the long haul, let's get into it. So Nassim Taleb is most famous for writing The Black Swan, and no, it's not that ballerina movie from 10 years ago. The Black Swan just talks about randomness and how much randomness affects our daily life. Before that, he wrote Fooled by Randomness and has since written several books on randomness. He's a mathematician and philosopher, and effectively he categorizes things into how they are affected by disorder. So fragile, robust, and antifragile. And if you haven't read any of his books, antifragile might seem like redundant to robust. So again, we're talking about disorder, so something that's fragile might be a vase. If you knock into a table, the vase falls over and smashes. That was disorder, and it was harmed by disorder. Something robust is not affected by disorder. So a brick is designed to stand the test of time, and there's not much you could do to a brick within reason, or there's not much in a brick's environment that will really affect it too much. Over time, eventually enough exposure to the elements, rain, wind, etc., will wear out a brick, but within the context of, our lifetime, that brick is effectively robust. It's immortal, more or less. And then third is antifragile, which is something that gains from disorder. And these are kind of harder examples to find, but they definitely exist. One such thing is your musculature. So for those of us who work out, you have to basically make microscopic tears in your muscles, aka muscle soreness, from lifting or running or whatever, and become sore, but you will come out of it stronger. So that is something that gains from disorder. So that's anti-fragile. So those three categories, and if we want to just take this example to its conclusion, we'll take an example to its conclusion. Let's look at an airline disaster, okay? So you have, let's say, three elements of that. A person is very much harmed by a commercial airline disaster. The person will likely be killed if there's a commercial airline disaster. So a person in this context is fragile. As far as robust, the black box, commercial airlines are equipped with a black box that is designed to be very much robust, and when a commercial airline goes down, that black box survives and gives them critical data. And then finally, anti-fragile. What could possibly come of that disorder? Well, the airline industry as a whole learns from this disaster, and they become much, much less frequent. So commercial airline disasters in the continental United States are down to almost zero. It's very rare that there's a commercial airline disaster of any sort. They have very much gained from the knowledge, or they have very much benefited from the knowledge they've gained from that disorder. And by the way, not to make light of any commercial airline disasters, obviously thousands and thousands of lives were lost in order to sort of reinforce that anti-fragility, and I'm not making light of that in any way, but the commercial airline industry has benefited certainly from those disasters. So, where does Assetto Corsa fit into this? Well, I believe it falls more into the category of anti-fragile than anything else. The reason being is the disorder, and let's take LMP1 for example. We know LMP1 cars are coming to an end, and they're going to be replaced possibly by hypercars. So you might even see something as crazy as the McLaren Senna, fitted out to race spec, and guess which game will lend itself nicely to that? Assetto Corsa. So the disorder is something in the racing world. Let's say Formula One changes its specs drastically for 2020 or 2021, maybe going back to a non-hybrid engine or something like that. Assetto Corsa will be able to, accommodate, assuming one of the dozens and dozens of awesome modding teams out there chooses to take on that task. Disorder like that, or if there's a new track, let's say they change the layout of Spa or something like that, that will come. So I think the mods actually make, it won't be immortal. Let's be honest here. Eventually, technology will surpass what Assetto Corsa is capable of, but for the time being, any sort of disorder in the racing world will actually improve Assetto Corsa, because again, modding teams will be tripping all over each other to make sure that this is brought to Assetto Corsa. Therefore, it is reinforced and made stronger by disorder. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the reason. So I think, for the layman, I think mods are what makes Assetto Corsa great, and I think mods are what's going to give it life in the long run. So I could be wrong about this, who knows, but this is just kind of, again, when you have a week in a hotel room, this is just kind of the things you think about. So could be, I hope, and I love Assetto Corsa, so hopefully that is the case, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. What games do you feel you will still be playing in a long time from now, and whether or not you think I'm right that mods actually give Assetto Corsa a lot of staying power in the sim racing world. Thanks guys so much for watching. Thanks for listening. Again, these are the half-baked ideas of a sim racer, so there's probably some serious flaws in what I'm thinking about, but it was just a fun thought exercise if nothing else. Thanks guys, and we will see you next time.